Hi and welcome back to the sixth video in the series of making Brick Collider. Previous video saw us, well, destroying the blocks, creating functions for that, and how to create different levels by iterating through them. In this video, we'll be adding the text to the screen for, say, an intro, and then prior to each level, we'll display the level and then count down to the start of that level. Okay, so let's get going. So we need to define a function for that. So we'll go down here and we'll define it here. Right, so we'll go def, we'll call it intro, and it needs to take in itself as an argument. So self, and then we'll take in text, which we can add in when we call the function intro. So we'll call another message. Here we go, self dot display message. We call it. Message, and the parameters that will be taken in will be the text which we brought in. It'll take in a font size and then a position X of 250 and then a position for the Y of 150. Okay, when we're doing this, we'll pause the screen or get the program to stop for, say, 2 seconds. So we'll say time dot sleep for 2, which is 2 seconds. Let's define the function there that we're going to render the text basically to the rectangle and then onto the screen. Okay, so we go df display underscore message, as we'd called it earlier, and that needs to take in the parameters that we're passing through to it. So it needs to take self, it needs to take text, it needs to take font size, which we call 100, position X, and a position Y, which we're going to use to center the text onto the screen. So basically, we have the text, which we called in, and will be called from at the start, and then we have the font size, which is also called in there, and then we have a position X and a position Y. Okay. Define, make a variable text style. We'll make this equal to the font, so we'll say pygame dot font with a capital F, and we'll take in parameters none first off and font size. So none here is basically default font. It'll just take the system font and just use it rather than defining a font. So font size. Okay, so that's the font size taken in, which is 100 from earlier, and we'll define text face. Right, so we need to render the text. So it's text style, which we created just a minute ago. Dot render needs to be rendered onto a face basically. So we take in the text to that, value of true, which is an anti-alias. It's smoothing basically, and then a color, we call it white, because it'll be going onto a green background anyway. So that's text will be smoothed then through that, and which will be a color of white. So okay, so next we need to define the actual rectangle that the text is going to sit on. So we go text underscore rect equals text face dot get rect. Okay, so that's just going to be the rectangle it's all sitting on. We're going to define the position, and remember this is going to be centered, so we want to do the text rect dot center, and then we take in the values of the POSX and POSY. POSX and POSY. So then we need to split the image onto the screen. So we'll say screen.blit, and then we take in the parameter text face, which is the actual text, and then the text rectangle, that's what's holding it off. So text face, comma, text underscore act. Okay. Notice the game itself display needs to to flip or update. So we go Pygame.display dot flip open close parentheses. This will actually display the text that we've created onto the screen in the position that we want. Okay, so we need to call for that function intro now. So we go back up. We do have a problem, however. Our screen.fill is actually in the running loop at the moment. So we need to copy that. There's screen.fill.green down here. Copy it. And that'll need to be put into the text copy, but we'll call for the function while we're up here. Self.intro. And as a parameter, it needs to take in the text which is to be displayed on the screen. So we're just going to call it brick collider. Now, that'll be the text that's going to be displayed on the screen. Let's go down and insert our screen fill so that the color will be shown and then the text on top of it. Okay, we've also got is time.sleep here. We need to import time. So we go comma import and the time. So okay, so save it and let's run it and see if it's working right. Yep, there we go. There's our brick collider text, and then the game starts just after it. Okay, well, that's working ground. Okay, now we know that it's actually displaying a message. We can use what we've created so far to create a level countdown, basically. So we go back down to where we create our intro. We can use some of the code that we used in that. We won't need the time.sleep method yet at the moment, so we'll just copy this, go down, and we can paste it in. It's going to be taken in text, but we need to change intro into, we'll call it level message here. So okay, so we're going to be looping through a countdown. We'll call it 3 seconds basically. So we need a variable for that. So we go countdown equals 3, and then a for loop using that countdown value. So for c underscore down in range 0 to count down. Now we could change it to a 5 if we want to, but we'll leave it at 3 for the moment. We have to do this. I'm going to be displaying a couple of messages, so we might as well copy this, paste. There's going to be another one now which is actually going to hold the countdown value, so we'll paste it in again. Now the text value here, this is going to be the actual countdown, so we'll say countdown, and sure, let's change it to a string value anyway. So we've got str countdown. So that's our countdown started. We want to display the text a little bit further down, so we'll say 250 on the y-axis, and we will want the thing to sleep for 1 second. So each time it counts down 1, we want it to sleep for a second. So then we need to countdown to be -1 then every iteration. So we'll go countdown minus equals 1. That will take 1 away from the value of countdown every time it loops through. We also need to fill the screen then after it, so that when we do a new countdown, it won't just print another text message on top of the countdown value. Okay. That. Now we need to call for this function. So when not block group, in there we'll put in self.level underscore message. Now it needs to take in a value. So we'll say level space plus string value of level, which starts off at 1 up here. We call it level equals 1 or LVL equals 1. Okay, so that will add the two of them together in a text value and pass it down into the game. Okay, so save it and run. There we go. There's our start text. That should be 2 seconds. And level 1. 3, 2, 1, and countdown. And the game begins. Okay, well that's it for this video. We've created our intro and then our level introductions and countdowns. In the next video, we'll basically be defining some rules. You know, we'll create some lives, set them at 3, I think, and then we'll define a rule then to lose a life. Basically, if the ball falls off the bottom of the screen, you lose a life, and then when all your lives are gone, we'll define then another function to ask if you want to play again. Well, that's it then. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon.